Brian Alvarez here. You're listening to the Kicking Out Podcast, a podcast about All Elite Wrestling, hosted by Tanner Lee, Paul Zartman, and Austin Shepard.
You are listening to the number one AEW podcast, the Kicking Out Podcast, a podcast about All Elite Wrestling, hosted by my favorite host, Tanner Lee, Paul Zartman, and Austin Shepard. So if you want to know everything that's going on in the world of All Elite Wrestling, AEW, then you need to listen to the Kicking Out Podcast. Please tell Thunder Rosa I said hello.
What is going on, everybody? It is Sunday night. It's May 18th, 2025. Crazy to think we're already past the midway point in May, but here we are. But it's Sunday night, like I said, so you know what that means. A brand new episode of the Kicking Out Podcast, streaming live on the Kicking Out Podcast YouTube channel and our Facebook page. Hit that like button, that subscribe button, that follow button on all social media platforms at Kicking Out Pod. Do what you got to do. We really appreciate it. Tanner Lee right here in the house. The Shep, Austin Shepard in the house as well. And the current KOP Predictions Champion, JPJ of Love Wrestling's Between Two Beards.
Sorry, guys. Hold on. Let me get this situated. All right. There we go. All right. Hey, how we doing, fellas? Thanks for having me, as always. Hope you guys are used to this view. Because it ain't going to be changing anytime soon.
It's a little dirty to me, Shep. I don't know about you.
You see that glisten? You see that glare, that pretty glare, Shep?
I always enjoy the company of JPJ.
As I enjoy you fellas as well.
But hopefully he's going to go down just like his Celtics.
Just a little sweeter this time.
Just like his Celtics.
Just a little sweeter. Hey, listen.
Hey, next week, here we go, Pacers going down Celtics. Yeah.
I mean, the Knicks are trash, so you guys should have a good time with you. It shouldn't be that hard for y'all. The Knicks are dog poop. Absolute dog poop. Historical loser franchise. Enjoy your I'm sorry. Second round victory that you celebrated like you're champions because New York bums.
They did beat Boston by 40 something.
They did. Well, I mean, come on. What would you? We won one for Jason. That's what we did. Yeah. We won one for Jason. Again, I will say I am a diehard Boston sports fan, but I also am not one of those Celtics fans. I will go on record. We did not lose that series because Jason Tatum got injured. That is not the reason why we lost that series.
I agree.
Now,
I agree.
If Jason Tatum would have stayed healthy, I still think we would have won the series.
You would have taken it 7 games. For sure, 7 games,
1,000%. And I think in game 7
7
at home, Tatum. The most unfortunate thing about it is Tatum was having one of the best games of his career in that game. When he got injured. Now the game was already going away. We probably still lose it anyway. But that last 5 minutes with the healthy Tatum and Brunson, that would have been I would have liked to have seen how that played out.
So while we're talking NBA. Have we not loved what the WWE has done with Brunson and Halliburton?
They absolutely should be backing that
they
up. They do that stuff.
They're running with it. I love it.
They should. They should.
I tell you right now, Halliburton's the heel.
That's fine.
Halliburton's the heel, which I'll take it. I'm a Pacer guy.
He's the heel in the WWE.
He's the heel
for sure.
He's the heel right now.
Oh yeah.
I love it.
But I would be favoring Indy.
I hope so.
I know we swept them last year, but Indy played us tougher than any team we played last year, without question. And again, I know it was a sweep, but every game, even the ones without Halliburton, like you guys were in, like the Pacers were in, I really like the coach. I really like Rick Carlisle. He's a great coach, all-time coach. The Knicks are trash, bro.
Let me ask you this question, and this has nothing to do with wrestling. And that's fine because it's KOP and we do Rebel Rolls. So do you think in the back of your mind, JPJ with the NBA, I almost said NWA, NBA, do they favor these teams that have big markets compared to Indianapolis, which is a super small market, compared to a New York or a Boston? Is that just me because I'm a Pacer fan and I always just think we're us against the man? But I always feel like these big market teams, they shit on us and favor these big market teams. That's just me. They make more money, right? In the playoffs. I mean, they make more money.
Yeah, of course they do. Yeah, and the market to the market. I mean, no offense, but do you think that I'm trying to think of who's left in the West, right? Who won Game 7 today? I was working.
Oklahoma City smacked Denver today.
Okay, so there's Oklahoma City, Minnesota, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
They're screwed. Either way you look at it, two terrible markets on the West Coast. Yep. Either way, two great teams.
Yeah.
And I think either one of those teams beats either one of those teams in the East. I'm sorry. I think Indy has a better fight because the Knicks, again, trash. But they're screwed. So again, I'm not gonna. I don't like to. I don't want to be one of those guys that is like conspiracy. I don't think that way when it comes to sports.
Yeah.
But if the NBA had to choose, I think that they would want New York to be the market that's 100%. In the finals against either Oklahoma City or Minnesota. Because 100%. If it's Oklahoma City and Minnesota against Indiana, again, the NBA finals will get a big market because it's the NBA finals from everywhere. But the size of the market in a Boston, a Los Angeles, a Chicago, a New York, Minneapolis is actually might be okay.
Yeah.
But it's still, I don't know. I do think the Thunder are going to win it all. I thought the Thunder would be the team if there was going to be any team that beat my Celtics. I thought it would be the Thunder and in the finals. And listen, it is what it is. I got to eat my words, but I thought the Celtics were going to walk into the finals. Obviously, the Tatum injury was not the reason, but now next year we're not even going to do anything. So, but anyway.
Nice NBA rabbit hole to get things started.
Yeah, I got Pacers in 5.
Yep.
If you want,
I hope you're right.
I'm telling you, dude. Brunson is good, but he does not play a lick of defense. Play a lick of defense. But offensively, and he's a dog. He's clutch. He's a dog. But Halliburton's a dog too. So they cancel each other out. And I think coaching wise and the rest of the time, I
think Indianapolis or Indiana.
Yeah.
Still got used to that, even though I live in Indiana. It's still weird to me that Indiana Pacers said the Indianapolis Pacers. I think Indiana's got more depth. And at the end, I think that's going to win them the series.
Correct.
Yeah.
But
catching up on some comments here. Steffi, good to see you back in the comments. Glad you're back in the States. Hopefully you had a good trip overseas. Hey, everyone watching the All-Star race, as is Shep in the background there.
Yep, I got you, Steffi.
And then she said, did Paul get fired? Also, possibly no Majin tonight.
I didn't fire Paul. Maybe fired Majin. It's okay. I'll take Paul. Hey, Paul, I'll take you any day of the week, brother, over Majin.
Yeah, no Paul, though. Again, Shep, we get him last week. Finally get the 3-man ban for the second time in 2025. No Paul tonight. But, of course, JPJ shows up.
Hey, I appreciate JPJ showing up, but Paul's got kids, man. Just like Heath Slater.
The champ should show up, right?
I think that's why Paul's not here. I think he's too ashamed that he let Shep and I down.
One fucking point, man.
You're still mad about that Dynasty, aren't you?
What I agree a lot with Tony Khan. I agree with a lot. I mean, I've gone through him. How many years have you done this? I've been doing this podcast with you. 3-4 years now. You've been on
with us for 3 years now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. 3 freaking years. And one time I go against Tony Khan and it burns my rear end. And old JPJ's holding that stupid little shiny thing over his shoulder.
Sure am.
One time.
Paul, you're okay with me, Paul. You're okay with us over at Beards, man. You're okay with us.
Hey, by the way, I enjoyed the Beards Thursday night. That was a really good
show. With the Foleys.
With the Foleys, yeah.
They're really, from your neck of the woods. They're near you guys, aren't they?
They are.
Indiana boys.
Yeah. They play Logansport, Indiana, just like 20 minutes down the road from me. And
hell yeah,
I enjoy punk rock music, so
yeah. That song that they let us play was a banger, dude. That Macho Man song. That was a good one.
It was.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, go check that out if you haven't already on Love Wrestling's YouTube channel for sure. And we're hoping Friday night, but it's still to be determined when we're going to be doing our double or nothing prediction show. Hopefully Friday. We might have to switch it up, but it will be done sometime this week. And Shep, why don't you explain to everybody how we're doing it this time around?
It is a tornado tag team match. We're going to take on, it's going to be the Tan Man and the Shep versus JPJ and Pluggo, the Beards, for the KOP champion.
Now, do me and Pluggo have to come up with the same answers, or are we given four, or are we?
Oh, no.
Are we each answering separately and we combine the point? Like, how does that work? Because what if Pluggo and I disagree on a match?
Well,
you said tornado tag.
Tornado tag, I think it's wide open, so I agree. I think it is the two picks combined. So if you think one pick's going to be 3 and he thinks one pick's going to be 4, that's your guys' pick, and then you combine it. So hopefully you guys pick the same winner of the contest, because if you don't, if you pick one that's going to win for 3 and the other one's going to win for 4, that could be a big ass swing. So
yeah,
it's tornado tag, so I love it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also, it's an AEW.
Shep came up with the rules, so.
No, I was just asking for clarification. I'm not.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not going to matter because it's an AEW show and the Kicking Out podcast, and I'm going to pick a perfect card, so it doesn't matter. So that's just what I do.
I love it. It's gonna be a great show no matter what.
Yeah,
right.
I agree.
Right, we're gonna have a good time making our predictions. Double or Nothing is gonna be great. We'll be talking about the card here momentarily. Before we dive into any AEW rumblings, you guys drinking anything special tonight?
I got that H2O, brother. You know how I roll.
Hydration, my man.
Sabu?
Sabu, ROPS. Sabu, we went that last week. I started at 7:30 this morning, by the way. We had the first Round Barn Golf tournament today, but little vodka soda, little cherry in it. We've had some transfusions today. We've had some beers. We've had some vodkas, back some beers. Now we're back to vodka. So here we go. It's going to be a day. We're having a fucking day, man. We started
having a day.
Yeah, fuck yeah, have a day.
Shep, I'm glad you got past the 10-minute rule. Congratulations, my friend.
I did. I made it.
You did. You got to about 12 and a half minutes. So, all right.
Pretty good.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Progress.
All right. Hey, by the way, where were you at today, Tanner? You always played in these RBTs.
I did. I haven't played one in 2 years.
I know. I thought you'd come back.
We actually had some Mother's Day stuff going on today. That's why my dad didn't play either. So, yeah.
I know. I played golf with him Thursday and gave him.
I heard all about it. So, I heard all about it. So, you let him whip up on you, Shep. I'm a little disappointed in you.
I shot 76 today, so.
Well, you made up for it today, I guess.
I made up for it.
But I am drinking the original Broken Skull, Steve Austin's Broken Skull beer, his IPA, the first one he came out with.
Hell yeah.
So I had the 316 one on, I think, last week. Now I got his original one. So good stuff, though. Good stuff. But did you guys see some big AEW news today that came out?
Today?
At least, it's news regarding an AEW talent, I should say.
I have not.
Have you seen it? Darby Allin got to the top of Everest.
I did
today.
Yeah.
He made it.
Yeah, made it to the top.
Son, you know what? That's the only guy in that whole locker room that could have made that.
100%.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that. So that was a life goal of his.
Yep.
And
that's awesome.
Obviously you got to make your way down too. Coming down ain't that easy either.
No. True.
But that's a big. Listen. Short list of people that have done that in the scheme of things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's impressive. Now hurry up, get your ass to the bottom of the mountain, take a few weeks off, and then get your ass back in the fucking wrestling ring.
No, I think if he's already made it to the top, we've seen this weekend.
No. It's gonna take a long time to get back down, man. My man.
It's gonna take him almost as the same amount of time to get back down.
In Get him in the fucking helicopter and get his ass down.
No, that's not how it works.
No. You get up there. You got to get back down.
That's not how it works.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know anything about hiking, so
How do you guys think Darby fits in? Like when I'm thinking he's back around All In time, probably. How do you think he fits into the plans? Because I originally was like a broken record. I'm like, Darby's got to be the guy to take the title off Mox. But you still think he is? So you think this could drag out for quite a while? Yeah.
I think there's a good chance that Jon Moxley wins and beats Will Ospreay at All In nefarious Death Rider style, and Darby Allin returns at All In, and then at the next pay-per-view, is it All Out? Are they still doing All In and All Out?
Forbidden Doors after All In August. Then All Out, I assume, going to be September, but it hadn't been announced yet.
All right, so maybe not then. Maybe not if it's Forbidden Door.
If Forbidden Doors
an AEW
in Osprey country over there,
so maybe listen. To me, Darby always was the guy that beats Moxley. Obviously, now they have a good out with whoever they choose with Osprey, or, you guys didn't tell Pluggo?
I thought he was in the loop that you were joining us tonight.
I had just assumed that we were both invited.
No, God, Tanner, send the freaking link to Pluggo. Get him on here. I don't want to hurt the guy.
I just assumed we were both invited. That's why I was just like, all right, rock and roll.
I invited our champ on because I'm like, the champ's got to be on at least once before Double or Nothing.
Got it.
And
that's my bad, bro.
Prediction show, and Pluggo's on the prediction show.
Now, do not feel betrayed. This had nothing to do with me.
Pluggo, this is on me, my friend.
I had nothing to do with me. I was
on me.
But
hell, I like Pluggo. Send him the link.
But see that, Shep? He's feeling betrayed. So
I see what you did. I see what you did, because it's a tag team time this time. So you said, I'm gonna invite JPJ on, and he's gonna think that Pluggo's coming on, and then it's just JPJ, and Pluggo and JPJ are gonna have some problems. So when I go to tag in Pluggo, he's gonna jump down from the apron. He's going to jump down from the apron.
He might tear an.
See? I'm going to go for that hot tag next week so we can keep this title, and he's going to jump down from the apron. He's going to be like, remember when you were on that show last week without me? That's going to be it. Way to set. I see what you did. Acting like you didn't know what you were doing. You knew what you were doing. You knew what you were doing.
3 steps? That's what The Rock was always saying, 3 steps, and then he comes to find out you had 3 steps. I had nothing.
Pluggo, don't get mad at me. Do not get mad at me. I am not the one to direct your anger to where it should go. He doesn't mean that.
He's so not.
Pluggo, we'll see you this week, my friend. We'll see you this week. We'll have a good time.
Maybe.
I guess. Yeah, it will happen sometime this week.
I don't know. Your partner might turn on you. I don't know.
He might not even show up for beards. I'm nervous now.
Hey, if he doesn't show up, I'll be your backup.
Okay.
You do have.
I would think. No offense to you. It's not that I wouldn't want to do.
Sorry.
It's not that I wouldn't want to do a show with you.
I feel like I offended JPJ.
No, I'm just saying if Pluggo left, that would be the end of. I wouldn't continue beards.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't.
If Pluggo is sick this week, hungover, whatever,
or if I'm on punishment now, because Pluggo's not going to believe that I didn't do this behind his back.
Tag me in. I like to talk. I like to talk all sports. So
okay,
all sports plus wrestling. I'm in.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Reel us back in, man. Come on.
I got it. So also, speaking of Darby, I read this report that back in January, AEW officials were confident that Darby would be back in ring ready by spring, but obviously that's not going to happen. So no. I think that's why we're probably getting the pivot of plans. So they're thinking, a typical Everest climb could take anywhere from 6 weeks to upwards of 2 months. And it took Darby as of this writing, 5 weeks.
It's pretty good.
So, yeah. So he beat the average.
Getting up, though. I don't know if that counts the whole time, because if it's another 5 weeks getting down, you're talking, or 3, Damn it. I'm going to have to do damage control all week now.
The way they wrote Darby off of TV with that backstage car wreck, it's really hard for me to think that Darby is not the one that ends this awful title reign.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but if it is Darby, it almost makes sense, assuming they're going to do Wrestle Dream in October in the Northwest like they have. That's where he's from. But it's like, can we really hold on till October? No. Even though the Death Rider stuff's getting better.
It is better.
It's got better and is getting better. But it's like, still, I think they got to pull the trigger with Ospreay or Hangman at all in. Just my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I would lean that way too. But to me, even, obviously the tournament tells the story of who gets the title there, or the shot to potentially win the title. But I mean, the Darby still has the best story of why he would want to be Mox, because Mox isn't the champion without bullying Darby into that match. If Moxley doesn't do that, Moxley's never the champ. Well, he's never the champion. So
Steven Chambers says Gabe Kidd saves the Death Rider story. Like, yeah, we saw Gabe Kidd insert himself into this storyline Wednesday night at Beach Break in the cage match between Samoa Joe and John Moxley. And I'm cool with it. The more Gabe Kidd on TV, the better.
I thought it was a fresh beginning, or a refreshment to the Death Riders having Gabe Kidd there. We always have Claudio, we always have Yuta, but to have Gabe Kidd there all of a sudden, it's like, oh, all right, gives him a little pep to the step. Yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah, especially when you're heading towards a match like Anarchy in the Arena, like Gabe Kidd, that's going to be a perfect environment for Gabe Kidd.
Oh, yeah.
So then, hopefully it's a legitimate thing, and hopefully he's around more than just this kind of lead up to Double or Nothing, because that's a guy that I feel like should be on North American television. And that's a guy that is a gigantic star almost immediately, I think. Once you give him a microphone, let him talk. If he can hold his, the language, because he's on North American television and it's not the same, that's a guy that will be a star very quickly. Very quickly.
Does he give you the MJF vibes like he gives me? Just because of his arrogance? Like, I feel like he's an MJF promo type of guy.
I feel like he's ECW Stone Cold Steve Austin to me.
Oh, so you're going against the system type deal.
Yeah. And again, he's got that. He's charismatic, but and he's cocky, but he's not. All right. So MJF to me is a cocky prick.
Yeah.
Gabe Kidd is a cocky asshole. And those are two different things.
Okay. You're right.
If that makes sense. Does that make sense?
I get it.
Yeah.
I see where
that's kind of like Gabe Kidd is cocky, but he's cocky in a way that it doesn't come. Yeah. MJF's is kind of, the uppity, I'm better than you and it. Whereas Gabe Kidd's is like, yeah, I'm better than you, but like, I'll beat your ass and show you that I'm better. Like, I'll prove to you, like, come at me, I will murder you. And that's how I will show, so it's like a different type of vibe, even though it's similar, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, and I agree with you with that. When you explained it that way, I want him in America. I want him in North America. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd like to see both him and David Finlay in North America. I've been on that train for a while. Yeah. I don't know who else New Japan really have left, but they've kind of done that to themselves over the last couple
of years. Yes, they have.
They've let a lot of talent walk.
They lost JC Mateo.
Sure did.
Or whatever.
Yep. Formerly known as Jeff Cobb.
Cobb. JC, baby. Yep. Jeff Cobb.
Yep.
JC Mateo. Am I saying that right?
JC Mateo.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
I've heard worse.
I know, but I mean, the guy was really good in ROH, New Japan, and the few times he was in AEW.
Mm-hmm.
Why does Connecticut really hold a guy back by not giving him that name. When he debuts, that's fucking Jeff Cobb.
Money.
Like, but where do they lose the money? Is you think if they design all this merch that says JC Mateo and not Jeff Cobb, it just doesn't blend in? I don't know.
Yeah, but they own the name. So now, again, he would just go by Jeff Cobb. And he's a different – when it comes to guys like him, I don't know why it's always one – like, why is Julia Julia? Why does Julia and Stephanie Vaquer get to be Julia and Stephanie Vaquer, but Jeff Cobb couldn't be Jeff Cobb, or Ricky Starks couldn't be Ricky Starks?
Yeah, it just does. There's
like, that doesn't make sense to me.
There's no consistency.
Why is AJ Styles AJ Styles, and Shinsuke Nakamura is Shinsuke Nakamura, but Prince Devitt had to become Finn Balor?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's almost like, not all the time, and most of the time we know why, because it is for copyright issues. They want to own as much of the stuff as they can own. But like, I feel like they're very pick and choosy sometimes when it comes to the known talent.
Mr. Antox on YouTube, JC Mateo is a name something out of the Big 12 conference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, it's a pretty basic name. I like the JC because Jeff Cobb, JC. Right. Like, I like how they did that. I almost wish they just called him JC.
JC, yeah.
Why do you have to add Mateo in there? Like, when Solo introduced him on SmackDown, he didn't say Mateo. He just said, my boy JC.
Yeah.
And I was like, that makes sense to me. If his name is just JC, Jeff Cobb, we know, everybody knows he's JC. But then they add Mateo, and it's like, what? Yeah. No other member of the bloodline has the last name Mateo.
Not even close.
And if Mateo is Hispanic, correct?
That's what, and that was another thing. I was gonna be like, Mateo to me, and I couldn't. I don't want to sound ignorant, but Mateo, all the Mateos that I have known in my life, and I've known some, have been of Hispanic descent.
Okay. And
the bloodline
Samoan
is
correct.
Samoan
Yeah, okay.
Now, that doesn't mean that name can't be in both. I don't know my history on things, and that's why I don't want to sound. But to me, when I hear the name Mateo, because of my real life, that is a Hispanic name.
Sure, I agree 100%. Yep.
Who knows? Again, they should have just called him JC. I don't know why.
Yep.
You know how they used to shorten names and get rid of names? Just say JC's fine. Just fine. JC.
I'm in for JC.
I don't know. Yeah.
What'd you guys like on Dynamite this week? I thought there was a lot of good. I know we're an AEW centric podcast, but I really think they have some positive momentum. They've had the last few months. I think they've had a string in a row here of good Dynamites. What'd you guys like on Dynamite this week in particular?
Hurt Syndicate MJF.
That was good stuff this week.
Great segment. I love that Shelton was in the back ready to super kick him.
Oh, look,
that was
crazy.
Yeah,
he was ready to super kick the shit out of him, and then he got the thumbs up, and he just when he got the thumbs up, like Shelton just stepped back and smiled. It was even better. Like, it was better than MJF's reaction. So great segment.
Yeah, I like that segment a lot as well. I even though I am not one that likes can they coexist tag matches, I thought the opening tag match with Hangman, Ospreay, Takeshita, and Josh Alexander was just spectacular.
I would love to see Hangman and Ospreay. This is way down the line someday, but I'd love to see them form a tag team. That was so sick, that buckshot lariat, the hidden blade combination.
That spot in the match where Ospreay went to hit the hidden blade, and the guy moved, and he stopped an inch before Hangman's like perfect timing, just stopped right there, and they just kind of stayed there for like 10 seconds, and it was like that was a great spot. And then kind of everything that happened afterwards too, like, you know, I was excited for that match at Double or Nothing just because it's those two guys, but that was a good piece of business. The match itself was terrific, and then the aftermath was also like, okay, like I'm really ready to see these guys throw a classic on next week, you know?
And I'm digging Takeshita and Alexander as a team too. I don't know about you guys, but I'd love to see them maybe, I mean, I'm booking way ahead of time, maybe all in challenging the Hurt Syndicate for the tag titles.
No. I think those are two individual talents.
Okay.
Does it work for what we just saw this last Wednesday? Absolutely. The Don Callis family, we have those things, but I'm sorry, the Takeshita and Alexander are two strong individual talents.
They are.
I don't think they need to be blurred in a tag team.
But where do you put them individually, Shep?
Well, I mean, right now, okay, it's getting blurry. I get it, but Takeshita is holding New Japan Gold right now, right? He's help me out with what belt he's holding.
Might be, I don't know.
He never has it on AEW TV, so I don't know what
he had it this week.
Oh, did he? Okay.
He had a belt on him this week. But okay, just throw him out of the mix. Alexander is a mid to upper card guy, right?
He has Maple Leaf title right now, Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling title.
Okay, I mean he needs to be a TNT and above guy. Okay. So I just think those two get blurred in a tag team. Two opposite styles. Okay, you got a guy that wears a headset like I'm wearing right now, and then you have a New Japan guy that's a strong style. And just I don't know. I feel like just two opposite guys. They don't need to be in the tag team title picture right now.
I could get on board with Alexander getting a TNT title mix. I think he'd be a good opponent for Adam Cole.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Takeshita to me is world title. I mean, he's that caliber a guy. To me, obviously, he's not going to be involved in that mix for a while, I would assume. But to me, that's the level he's at. Personally, if I were him, I don't know when his AEW contract ends up, I would go be the main guy in New Japan because they desperately need a main guy. And to me, he's a guy that they can build the next 5 years around and make him the next Okada. Not the next, because he's Takeshita. But like you can make him that level, that Shinsuke, that Tanahashi, that Okada, that Naito.
Sure.
He's that guy. And if I was New Japan, I would be giving him anything and a blank check. And I would say, what will it take to have you fully be here with us? You can go to America when we do New Japan Strong stuff if you want. You can do that run. You can do both, but we want to make you our IWGP Heavyweight Champion. We want you to be the face of this company for the next 5 years. That's the caliber of guy he is. And I think he's the type of guy that New Japan needs because all their homegrown legends are old now. Naito's on the back half, even though he's still great. Tanahashi's done after this year. Okada's over here now. Shinsuke's over here now and older. Like they have Goto, who's good. They have Shingo, who's good, but they've already been Goto's the champ now. Shingo already has been champion. They need the next, and Zack Sabre Jr. is excellent as well. But they need that next guy. And I think Takeshita should be, to me, he's the clear-cut choice. If they had to pick, that it should be him.
I agree with that. And I think he goes over there into Japan because, let's be honest, his English is not that good. So he will be great over there and struggle in the States as a main carder or upper card. So absolutely take him over there, let him succeed. The only problem is, look what we have with Okada right now. Unfortunately, he's an unbelievable wrestler, right? We're lucky to have him. But the only thing he says on American television is bitch. Right?
Basically.
That's all he says. So it's hard to get behind him when the guy only says one word. Yeah, we all pop for it, but we need more.
Yeah.
So, yeah, take Takeshita over there until he can learn some really good English. Take him over there. Let him be successful. He's an unbelievable talent. I agree with you. Unbelievable athleticism. Awesome guy. But until he can come back to the States and really, really work on the mic, he's not going to be on that upper tier in AEW.
Yeah.
He's the never open weight champion, by the way. New Japan.
Never open weight.
Yep.
Like it.
We got some comments here.
I've never opened my weight either.
I got some comments here to catch up on. Our favorite Canadian is here and in the comments. Mr. Majin says, Tanner sucks. JBJ is a bum. Nothing good comes out of Boston. And Shep is, well, Shep, the heel of KOP. Just throwing shots at all of us tonight.
Do you know what wouldn't exist? And again, some people will probably think this is a good thing. But do you know what wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Boston? The United States of America. Kiss my ass.
It's a good point.
Anyway.
You got a point, JPJ. I can never argue on that.
We were the ones that said, hey, you Brits, get your tea and get the fuck out of here. That's what we said. That's what we said. That wouldn't have happened in fucking Delaware. Okay? Okay? Michigan wouldn't have been doing that. You know who did that? Boston. Correct.
Okay. I love it. Steven Chambers earlier said MJF turning on Hurt Syndicate by All In. Pinnacle reunion. MJF, FTR with Stokely and returning Wardlow.
I don't think they run back the Pinnacle, but I do think MJF
probably
helps
not,
FTR
but it would be
win
fun.
The belts. Yes, I do think MJF does help FTR win the belts. I think that is correct. And then they will face Edge and Christian for the titles.
Yep, I think I agree. Like you said, FTR getting tag team titles back, and Cope and Father of the Year Christian getting them in the fall. Yeah. I definitely think we're getting Cope and Christian. How we get there, I'm not sure, but it's going to be fun to see how it plays out.
Speaking of that, if you guys followed a little bit of what Nick Wayne's done in the Super Juniors,
having a good run.
He's having a hell of a run.
I think he can win the whole thing, to be honest with you.
Yeah. He's doing a great job. Mama gives me a text every night when she's snuggling up.
Is she over there with him?
No. No. She came back. I sent the private jet over. She came back. She's back. She's back in the house.
What do you think that maybe if let's just say Nick Wayne wins the best of the Super Juniors? Does he come over? And him and Christian have already been on the outs. They're having not on the outs, but they've been having issues. He comes over with a high head, his head up high, like, yeah, look what I just did. I don't need you. And kind of they break up the page because, when they did that last promo, when Nick Wayne won the match, Christian looked like he was going to put the belt around him, and then he just dropped it and left. If you noticed, Kip Sabian left immediately with Christian. So my thought process was Nick Wayne's gone for a month. Kip Sabian now kind of, when Nick Wayne comes back, Kip Sabian is really the next in command under Christian because he's had a month alone with Christian while Nick Wayne's been over here. And Nick Wayne starts to get even more pissed off about that. And then it eventually leads to because Christian has to be not kicked out of the Patriot, but that needs to end for Christian to end up with Copeland, correct? I don't think Adam Copeland comes back and it's just part of just chilling with Christian. No,
that would be weird. That'd be weird.
Right? I don't know.
Yep. Mr. Antox on YouTube says Nick Wayne, as of this week, is leading the B block with 8 points in the best of the Super Juniors.
No. Wouldn't shock me if he wins it.
Oh. No, he's definitely getting some momentum behind him.
Oh yeah, sure. It'd make me Papa proud for sure.
I didn't want to skip Steffi's comment earlier when she said, what's also come out of Boston? Dropkick Murphys.
Yep. Aerosmith.
Hey, hold on,
old heads.
That Dropkick Murphy song, isn't that the fucking Notre Dame chanting song?
I don't know. I'm not. It's sacrilege. I know. I'm not.
I don't think so, Shep.
Dropkick Murphys. Don't they play that freaking Irish song that just everybody
shipping up to Boston, man?
All the
Boston.
All the Irish people play that song, right?
I mean,
I don't.
I'll find it. I'll find it.
No, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shipping up to Boston.
Yeah.
That's Dropkick. That was for the Departed, man. That was
all
for
the Notre Dame. All the Notre Dame fans.
Yeah, Pluggo's not on here, so we're not talking about Notre Dame.
Fake Irish. Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Fuck.
People in Boston are like real Irish. Notre Dame's in Indiana. Who the fuck is Irish in Indiana?
Notre Dame sucks.
Well, I'm not going to go there. I respect Pluggo. I respect Pluggo. They are, listen, I always rag on Pluggo. They are great until it matters. Then they are not.
Oh, well. We'll have a college playoff podcast next year.
Next year, what is it going to be? 28 teams by then?
Yeah, they're just keep adding more teams.
All of a sudden, it's going to be like a March Madness tournament. There's going to be fucking 80.
Let everybody in. Let everybody in.
Just keep on devaluing the regular seasons in pro sports and college sports. I love that.
Yep.
It's my favorite thing when none of the games matter because half the league makes the fucking playoffs.
Preach, brother, preach.
But, we are, half the people in the league now that are 22 and under got ribbons for finishing 9th in gymnastics when they were 4. So, it is what it is. Everyone needs to get in. Everyone deserves an opportunity.
Participation trophies.
Yeah, anyway. That's about as boomer as I get, people. I'm very liberal, but that's about as boomer as I get. There it is.
Yeah.
But
gotta stand on your soapbox once in a while.
Yeah.
Preach, brother, preach.
Yep. Anything else on Dynamite? Of course, I think.
Are we still talking about Dynamite?
I was going to say, I thought this was without question the best title defense of Jon Moxley.
Oh, yeah, I enjoyed it a lot.
No question.
Yep.
I thought this was easily his best defense as champion. I actually very much enjoyed all the stuff. Obviously, we talked about the Gabe Kidd start, but I enjoyed all the stuff post-match. I enjoyed the Bucks coming out and them. Matt Jack, when they get in there, they're beating everybody up, and then Swerve comes out, and Matt Jackson panically hitting the button for the cage to rise.
Yeah.
I mean, I laughed my ass off. Just perfect. He's like, I enjoyed the whole thing. I thought for Moxley defenses, which have not all been great, I thought this was the best one. I thought this was his best one.
I thought it was the best one as well. I love how bloody he got. You knew this. You knew when you have a cage match, it's going to get bloody, but he got really bloody.
Mm-hmm.
So it worked out well. It played out well. I mean, we all knew that Mox was not going to drop the title right now on a Dynamite. So to do what he did and what happened after the match was perfect. It couldn't play out better.
Yeah. I love the chaos after the match. The only thing I had a problem with, it's AEW production error. Imagine that. They missed Speedball pretty much chasing off Okada. I mean, Excalibur had to explain that Speedball because the camera didn't. Yeah.
Oh, hey, listen, at least they didn't lose like 30 minutes off their show or anything like that.
No, yeah. Not Dynamite. Oh my gosh. I got to the TV late last night and I flipped it on at 9:30. And I'm like, what the hell? This is a Collision. This is Black Adam.
Yeah.
And then I get on Twitter. I'm like, oh my God. They ended the show 30 minutes early due to production error. Oh, my Lord.
I did see some very funny tweets.
Yeah.
Because it was Black Adam. And people, the final boss strikes again. I saw some clever ones. But Jesus, again, that I don't think is an AEW problem. That's a Warner Media, whoever's in charge.
Like we know that, but a lot of people on the internet just will attack.
There are nerds in the bushes waiting to crawl out. That are ooh, this happened. Let me go on the internet and talk shit about AEW. That's how they all sound. Fucking losers.
Yeah. Yep.
So, but yes. Yeah. So, they were like, oh, wait a minute. They literally just popped out of the basement of the bushes.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Oh, something to talk. Okay, let's go.
That's classic. That's got to be clipped. That's good. That's good stuff.
That's what they do.
The two matches that didn't get on Collision were the number one contender, number one tag title contenders match, and then Hobbs against Yuta. The two that did not get on television. So
So I mean, and then I saw there was a statement today, or at least like Fightful put out today. They were like, AEW is still unsure if the final 30 minutes of Collision will make it onto HBO Max. And
I checked today, and
that 30 minutes is gone forever. We're never seeing that 30 minutes of Collision. It's like the lost tape.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yep.
So what do you think about finally Sammy Guevara getting on some television time?
I'm happy he's back on.
Was he that much in the doghouse?
I think it was a little bit of that, and then just growing up a little bit and took time off when his kid was born and defining himself again ROH a little bit. And I think he's matured a lot the last 2 years.
So now we got to see him on television. Now we're going to see him on a pay-per-view, right?
Yeah.
So
he and Dustin won the match over Crew. So
yeah.
And that's fine. I mean, I think, at one point, dude, that guy, he was getting some of the loudest pops in the whole company.
Oh, sure was.
He was as over as it got when he was in the Inner Circle and broke out of that, dude. That guy was a star. Those matches he had with Cody.
When he beat Miro, for the TNT title.
When he beat Miro for the TNT title, when he beat Cody in that ladder match for the TNT title. Like, that is some of the all-time moments in the history of the company involve Sammy Guevara.
Yep.
The kid can
He went off the blood and guts cage in Kingston. Threw him off.
Yeah. And it's like, I think what Tanner said, I think that all combines into kind of one. And like, as great as he was early on, you did hear a lot of backstage and outside of the ring stuff with like kind of his attitude and his cockiness and things like that. And, having a kid will make you grow up real quick. And I feel like that was part of it. And, he was in the doghouse. He has been on Ring of Honor. And I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing to get somebody of that caliber back on your show.
Yeah, Mr. Antox brought up a good point here too about there was that Mercedes comment too during all this. So even though he apologized, but it's so hopefully he becomes more of a consistent part on AEW because I've always liked Sammy.
Me too.
Yeah. What'd you guys think about the stuff with the women's division Wednesday night on Dynamite? We saw Mina make her AEW full-time roster debut. She wins the Eliminator match, finally. Somebody wins one of those things, not the title holder. And now so it's her and Tony at Double or Nothing.
You're forgetting about Sky Blue.
I was going to say.
Sky Blue's back, baby.
Yeah.
I love me some Sky Blue.
And I thought I really liked that four-way. I thought
it was better than last week.
I thought Azumi was really good. I thought everybody was really good in that match. I loved Tony's reaction because Mina, to me, that was a showcase for Mina, obviously. She got the entrance. Tony Khan read all the tweets about the entrance music, and when she won at the end, he was like, we're going back to the old one. But I thought it was a really good match. I liked Tony's reaction because she lost and she gets up and at first she's like, oh, I lost. But then it's like, she was almost like kind of happy for Mina, even though she was upset she lost. And then when they showed the graphic, she shook her, like, she was like, yeah, like, all right, cool. Me and you, like, I liked that reaction. And then I kind of liked everything that happened after that kind of built up the finals of the Owen on the women's side as well. And
they've done a good job with that.
Yeah, Mercedes had lost the title to Azumi over the weekend and her saying, you stole my belt. So they kind of built that rematch back up for New Japan whenever they want to do that. And then they did a really good job of continuing the build for Hayter and Mercedes, which I think is picking up a lot of – I think both finals have been both tournaments in general, I think, were really well laid out and really well built up. And, like, I thought on Wednesday they crushed the build for both of these finals at Double or Nothing. Like, I think they've made me at least very, very, like, I wanted to see the matches anyway because of who these four people are, but now I'm really, really, I'm into it.
I agree. And I've seen some comments online too about Mariah May not showing up at all, not being involved, putting more steam for her possibly going to WWE. I mean, I don't know what she's going to do. She'd be stupid not to see what they're going to offer at least before just resigning to AEW. Yeah. I don't know what she's going to do. I mean, there's probably where there's smoke, there's fire, more likely, I would say, but I don't know.
If that has always been a dream of hers, which is what you're hearing from a lot of places.
Yep, sure.
I mean, it is what it is, man. Like, some people get into the wrestling business because they want to go to WWE. Like, that is how a lot of you know, and if that is one of her goals, I mean, she was a longtime AEW heavyweight champion. In my opinion, she was part of the best story in all of wrestling for the last year to year and a half. I'm not saying there's not more she can do in AEW. I would love her to stay in AEW, but if she wants to go to WWE with the women's division they have built over there, how can you fault her? at all. One thing
Right.
I will say, though, is when they were talking about Mina and Tony, Excalibur said, oh, they've shared tag partners in the past. Like, they didn't even mention her by name.
Yeah.
Which is where I think people were like, yo, you're not even saying the name. You're just saying they've shared tag partners before. And it's like, we all know who you mean. Like, yikes. And I think that's really where those other comments that you see, I think that's where that came from.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, they're not even saying by name,
That's a good point.
So,
yeah. Yep. So, but another female talent that was in the news this week for contract related reasons, Willow Nightingale has re-signed with AEW, multi-year deal. So awesome for her. Awesome for the company. I really hope sooner or later we see the world heavyweight title around her waist. I think she's that good.
She's very good.
Yep.
I love
baby
her.
face they have.
Yeah, she's a great baby face. Her athleticism is really good, actually. She moves well, really around the ring, and so hope we see her go.
Yeah, it's just a certain energy she brings that it's unlike anybody else, and the crowd just. The reaction she gets, even though she's sparingly used, that's just top notch. Like, she is as perfect a baby face as they could have in the whole company. And I think it's a brilliant signing for them. Now they need to actually stand behind the signing and give her. Look, she's going to be one of the first 2 women to ever be in an Anarchy in the Arena match. And that's badass.
Yeah.
So none of that, Steven. Not when I'm here. You know where Mercedes is from.
I think that's probably why he said it.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, it's interesting when we're talking about the lineup for Anarchy in the Arena. Right here on Fightful has reported that they were told to expect Swerve Strickland, Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Hobbs, Kenny Omega, Willow Nightingale to take on the Bucks, John Moxley, Gabe Kidd, and Marina Shafir.
Oh, so
now that doesn't mean that we can't see. But they said that they noted that doesn't mean Shibata and Claudio couldn't be added or couldn't get involved in the match without officially being added, and that doesn't mean that Hook and Wheeler Yuta couldn't get involved. If and even Okada and Speedball Mike Bailey, who are going to face each other for the Continental title at Double or Nothing. But so we could see a lot more people than just the 5-on-5.
Yeah.
Dude, I see Eddie Kingston returning this match.
I was going to just bring up Eddie. It's got to be sometime soon, right?
He's close, right? He's got to be close.
Yeah, I don't know if he's like officially cleared or not, but I think, man, this whole thing wouldn't be happening.
And didn't Gabe Kidd put him on the shelf?
Yes, he sure did.
Yeah, I think it was the suplex from Kidd, right? Was that what it was?
He sure did.
Bro, if Eddie Kingston were to come back,
he's ready. He's got
if you want to talk about an all-time AEW pop, I think when Eddie Kingston comes back, that is an all-time AEW pop. And I would be okay, even though it would annoy me. I would be okay if Moxley retained to get if Eddie Kingston was the plan. I would be okay with Moxley keeping the belt for a little bit longer and getting through either Ospreay or Hangman. If I knew for sure that Eddie Kingston was the plan after that, I'd be like, I'm okay with it.
So you're saying let him keep it a little bit longer. Ends up having a match with Eddie.
He'll fight somebody from New Japan at Forbidden Door, right? So, right, you would think.
I get it. He fights Eddie. He retains against Eddie, and then all of a sudden, we got time for Darby to come in.
I would prefer Kingston to Darby in general. I feel like if Eddie Kingston didn't hurt himself last year, we wouldn't be dealing with any of this.
Oh, wow.
We wouldn't be dealing with any of this right now.
Okay.
Personally. I think Eddie and Mox would have already happened, and I think Eddie would have beaten Mox.
Which I can get.
He's been 100%. Out for what, a year and a half? Year and a half? He's been out for a long time, right?
Right at a year. Yeah.
At least.
Right at a year.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, his leg was pretty messed up.
I miss Eddie Kingston.
Yeah, right now in the Double or Nothing card, I do too. He's definitely one of those. It's like Kenny Omega. Every time he was out, I forgot how much I missed the dude till he actually returned.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. The comments right here. He got hurt in June 24. So right at a year. We're up to 7 matches for Double or Nothing as of our recording right here on Sunday night. We got Anarchy in the Arena, got the men's Owen tournament finals, women's Owen tournament finals, got the women's world championship. We got the tag team titles, which hurt Syndicate against Sons of Texas. We got a stretcher match added last night between Mark Briscoe and Ricochet. And we got a tag match, Shep's Boys FTR versus Nigel McGuinness and Daniel Garcia.
Big match for Nigel, man. I love it.
Second match.
Me too.
It's his second match back, right?
If you count the Battle Royal, third, I think.
Third.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's true. Yep. It all in.
The Battle Royal, then you would be technically his third. But
And I'm glad I looked at the card because that's one thing at Dynamite I glossed over and I wanted to talk about it was Ricochet against Zach Gowen. How fun was that?
A lot of fun. Good for Zach Gowen.
Shep, you're giving me the face again. What would you not like?
Okay, I agree with JPJ. Good for Zach Gowen. You know, good for him to have a match on.
The Duke can still go.
He can, but I'm sorry, guys. This is Dynamite. This is your 2 hours of prime television. I think you got to do better. I don't know. Call me an asshole. I don't know.
Oh, for a one-off, I thought this was fantastic.
Yeah, I think it was just to kind of solidify.
It gives
him Ricochet being more of a heel.
Okay, I agree with that. I agree with 100% that. And I think I bitched to Tanner and Paul early in the week, like, really, this is what we're gonna have.
You did.
Paul said, look, it's cheap heat. It's cheap heat.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I get it.
I think Tanner said that, not Paul, but that's okay.
But yeah, I mean that's what the match actually was better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess I should have thought it was going to be pretty good because Ricochet could carry a broomstick to probably a 4.5 star match. But I thought Zach Gowen looked great still. Like I thought, again, when he was first around, I know he was, he was like, that is how do I put it? Like he was a once in a lifetime type wrestler. We never seen anybody do that.
Yeah, he was an attraction.
Wrestle on one leg. Like he was an attraction. Yeah. He was a trend. Like, that's one of those things where representate, whatever you want to call it. Like and to give Ricochet a quick little Collision to Dynamite storyline where he was the thing he did with the leg last week on Collision when he walked up the ramp with the leg, and that is so sinister and dickheadish. Like it was just, and him attacking him after the match, and this was, I thought, well done to build Ricochet to kind of another level of kind of how evil he'll go.
Yep. It's so easy to boo the guy, and I think AEW's done a masterful job with Ricochet compared to what we saw him, what he was allowed to do, I guess, in WWE. I think a lot of people say, well, so much talent that goes over from WWE doesn't do anything to AEW. Well, this is a case. It's really worked out for the guy for the better.
He's crushed it. I did not think he had this in him. I'm going to be honest. And that's probably not, that was not his fault. That's because he wasn't really given the opportunity to show me that he had it in him, besides have great matches. But he has blown my mind with how good he's been here.
I still don't like his catchphrase.
That's fine. I don't like that he's an
You're not supposed to like it. You're not supposed to like it. He wants to do things that you're not supposed to like.
Yeah. I can't stand it.
So,
yeah.
His voice is nails on the chalkboard.
No. I think he's rising up the board as one of their top heels in the company very fast.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Very fast.
I agree.
So what other match do you guys think we could get added to this card? I mean, I'm guessing we'll probably have about 10 on the main card once it's all said and done, and then a couple 0-hour matches. But
yeah,
I mean, I'm one of those traditional wrestling fans. I like to see the titles all defended. So if we're talking about that, there's no TNT title match.
Yeah, I would like to see Adam Cole on there. I feel like Adam Cole against somebody would be good.
Yeah, I don't know who you put in that spot. I know he's doing an open challenge next week on Collision.
Okay, so what? That's the night before? The night before? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think because we're not going to have the trios titles defended. We're not going to have the world title, the AEW, the men's world title. Not going to have the TBS
title.
Not going to have the TBS title defended.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Okada and Speedball is on the card. That's officially on the card, correct?
Correct. Yep. Kenny's title is not going to be defended.
Oh yeah, that's true. So Kenny's title is not there, and not.
So you got the tags, you got the women's world, and
hold on. You're forgetting one guy that's probably going to show up just to puff his ego up. Jericho's not going to show up, right?
It's about time. Fozzie's done touring.
Are they done the tour?
Yeah,
they're done. They're done.
Yeah, it's about time.
Damn.
JBJ. Damn.
And I'm not an anti-Jericho guy either. I just don't.
But it's been nice to get. It's been nice to breathe a little bit away from Jericho.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Do you notice how like much again? And I'm not an anti-Jericho guy, but do you notice how much more the show breathes when you don't have to have 1 or 2 segments a week revolving around a guy that should be a special attraction at best? Yeah. Jericho should be the guy that comes back and you want to put him on a match at most of your pay-per-views, fine, but he should be an attraction guy. He shouldn't be a guy that is taking up weekly minutes from the rest of your roster that we are seeing starting to blossom without him around.
You're right.
Now I will say, and I've been pretty critical of Chris Jericho last year on this podcast, at least last year. I will say the last time we saw him with Brian Keith and Big Bill, I liked that version of Jericho.
I did
too. It's a different, darker side than we see. So if he comes back with that, I'll give it a chance.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't
like Big Bill. You know that.
I know you don't. You don't like his name.
I don't like Big Bill.
I think he can go. I think he's got a ton of potential. But that's just me.
I like Big Bill.
You call him William Morrissey? I like him.
So you just don't like the name?
Yeah,
that's why I said you don't like the name.
Yeah.
It's hard to agree with Tanner.
We'll do the comment first. I do have a match that I think that I would like them to add to the show.
Yeah. Mr. Antox said it's not even being anti-Jericho, JBJ. We're just being realistic. I did not enjoy him as ROH World Champion, and the way he pulled that nonsense with Bandito put me off.
Yeah. I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, again, in 2025, I don't think Chris Jericho needs to be on weekly. Like, when I say weekly, I mean every week. I don't think in 2025 Chris Jericho needs to be on television every week. I think he should be a sprinkled attraction guy once a month. You want to have him have a match every 2 or 3 pay-per-views, have a match, build a feud for a few weeks, fine. Because he'll still, and I still think he's good enough that he'll make it entertaining if you give him spurts like that. But I just think, with the roster they have and the younger people that are getting over, Kevin Knight, you think about it all these people. Speedball just came in. He's been looking great. The person you asked for a match added on, I think they should add the women's tag match, Megan Bayne and Penelope versus Anna Jay and Harley Cameron. I think that would be a nice get another women's match on the card. They built that tag team match in that 4-way a couple weeks ago with Megan Bayne. I like it. Throw another match on there. I think that would be fine. Even if it's pre-show, fine, whatever. But main card, you can fit another women's match on there. So
that'd be three women's matches. If they can get one more on the main card, that'd be pretty nice.
I feel like that's should be a fit. Probably So you do three women's matches, probably 7 or 8 men's matches, and then you get a couple pre-shows
and they've kind of got away from doing the Casino Battle Royal on the show, haven't they?
Yeah,
they used to do that every year, but
Anarchy in the Arena has become kind of the match that's here now. So,
and then we should be getting, I would presume in June, Blood and Guts sometime, because there's no pay-per-view in June. There's some big ass Dynamites, including
they have
Grand Slam
3 themed Dynamites, right? 3 of them in June, I think, or something.
Yeah, Fighter Fest and then Grand Slam and another one I'm forgetting, but then they got they're going to have a string of shows in Chicago in July. They got a string of shows in Philly. And
they hadn't gone to Chicago enough, so I'm pretty happy that they chose Chicago to do 9 shows in a row.
Different venue, but Jesus.
That little up and coming city, they don't get enough live shows from AEW.
And Shep and I aren't too far from Chicago, and I'm agreeing with the JBJ. It's like, okay, like, man.
You just had that week, and again, I'm going to be a homer, but you just had that week in Boston where you had an all-time Dynamite in that Collision where the crowd was unreal. Why not go to Boston for 3 straight weeks? Like Chicago, you're in Chicago a half a dozen times a year as is. Why do they need a run of 9 shows in a row? Yeah. Go to California, go to Texas, go to Canada.
Don't go to California. Don't go to Canada.
Well, all right, whatever.
That's personal, but
all right. But why are we going to Chicago when you're in Chicago every month anyway?
Because Chicago's hot. Chicago can be hot.
Yeah, I get it, but like New York wouldn't be hot.
No, they are.
At
least they're not going to Vegas.
I bet you anything they're going to do.
At least they're not going to Vegas for.
No, they've learned their lesson in Vegas.
Yeah,
they've learned their lesson. And I bet you, to JBJ's point about New York, I bet they could do Hammerstein again around the holidays this year because that 100%. Went over pretty well for 3 shows.
Yeah, they probably will. Yeah, they probably will.
But listen, the crowds will be great. I actually thought that Dynamite Beach Break, I thought for a Chicago crowd, they were a little lackluster.
I thought they were quiet.
I didn't think they were that great. I was like, this is Chicago. Like, they're being quiet tonight.
So
I
Tanner,
thought the same.
Did you look at the Colts schedule?
Oh, are we talking football before we get out of here?
We're going to talk football. Jaguars come to town early December. So do we see AEW in Fishers?
Probably in Fishers, probably.
Except early December.
Shep, when you threw that out 2 years ago, then they switched it up.
I know.
But for a while, you were on it. Whenever the Jags came to Indy, AEW would run Dynamite. Didn't happen last year, but yeah, I could see that because last time they've been in Indiana was in Fishers in December. So yeah, I could see.
So I think Jaguars are in town early December. So I see
that'd be fitting.
I see a Dynamite in the Fishers Event Center early December. So late November,
KOP will be there.
Yeah,
KOP will be there.
Come on, JBJ, you're flying in.
All right, that looks good.
All right.
Oddly enough, my back-to-back 4-win the last 2 seasons football team might be the only team in my city that I have optimism for.
Yeah.
That's how.
Red Sox are hanging in there for you.
Don't get me started. This show will go fucking 2.5 hours. Do not get me started with that fucking outfit that they have. There.
Easy, Tanner.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing, Shep. I know what I'm doing. I follow the guy on social media. I know what I'm doing.
I do not.
The guy got fired up real quick.
Yeah, I will fucking burn this place down. You start having me talk about the Boston Red Sox. I will burn this place to the ground. That's how I feel.
Love it.
That's okay.
We got 2 of the 3 best prospects in all of baseball sitting in Worcester in AAA while our team sucks. Playing 500 baseball for the last 6 weeks. Can't hit. When we do hit, we can't pitch. Bullpen blows games left and right. Our manager's not fucking doing anything. Then we got, and I love Devers, and good on Devers for telling the Red Sox to go screw. But at some point, buddy, be a good teammate. Go play first base. Yes. Now again, he hit a walk-off home run yesterday, so maybe just be a DH. I don't give a shit. I still love Devers. I'm not a hater.
Hey, how many years ago did you hire Bill James?
Oh God, I don't know. Is he still there? He's not there anymore.
He's got to be there, isn't he?
No.
Where's he gonna go?
I don't know. I haven't heard that name around these parts in a while.
Oh, you've had Bill James
that team
10 years.
That team is a fucking joke. What a joke franchise. We have been 500 or worse since 2022. The Boston Red Sox. Fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Right now I'm angry. Way to send me home angry.
Hey,
anything else you guys want to cover?
You know what though? The only time I'm rooting for you, JPJ, is when you play them stupid fucking Yankees because I can't stand Tanner. So, okay.
Well, here's the thing, though. As bad as the Red Sox are, they're still only like 4.5 or 5.
I know that's
because nobody's really playing well.
No, they're not.
The Orioles kind of suck. The Rays
are disappointing. Really,
the Orioles have been disappointing so far. The Rays are just the
Blue
Rays.
Jays
the
are
Blue Jays are not. Whatever. The Red Sox have sucked. The Yankees are over 500 and winning the division, but they're not playing that great
year. They're not playing that great.
No.
Hey, Jay, Pluggo and I are leading the division, by the way.
Oh, your Cubs. No,
the Cubs have been good.
Yeah,
they've been good, but you're not going to beat the Dodgers.
Don't shit yourself.
You're not going to beat the Dodgers.
I was going to say everybody's not going to beat the Padres. The Dodgers, right?
Probably when you meet the Giants. I mean, Dodgers.
The Dodgers are just. I mean, dude, like, what do you?
The Mets are having their fun right now, but yeah.
The Mets are the Mets.
And you better be careful of the Cardinals, Shep. They're red hot right now. So
Cardinals are hot, but. They were.
Look, I like the Cubs. I'm not going to sit here and hate on the Cubs. I like the Cubs. They're playing well.
I live up here in Cubs Central.
So they're playing well. I like the Cubs. I don't hate the Cubs. To me, it's for my team. It's the inconsistent. Like we go make a trade for Garrett Crochet. The dude has a 2 ERA. He's been dominant. He's been utterly dominant. Even though he's a piece of shit, Aroldis Chapman has been one of the best relievers in the league. Mm-hmm. He's been almost unhittable. He's been great. Bregman has been a stud at third, like unbelievable how good he's been offensively. Devers had a horrific start, but the last 20 games, he's the best hitter in all of baseball. But then you have just inconsistencies everywhere else. And we have this 22-year-old and this 21-year-old in AAA who are hitting the cover off the ball, who everywhere around the league, I see every year 20, 21, 22-year-olds come up for all these other teams and be studs. Ellie De La Cruz a couple years ago. Mike Trout a decade ago was 19 when that motherfucker came up. I see this all the time, and these guys are studs, and our 2 guys are just fucking chilling while my team loses series after series. What are we waiting for? I have to spend hundreds of dollars to go to a Red Sox game, and half my lineup is Abraham Toro, Rob Refschneider, fucking Trevor No! I'm not going to watch the Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm here to watch the Boston Red Sox. What are we doing?
Okay, let me throw a little star in the middle of this. What is it holding for the Boston Red Sox, the New York Yankees, even the Chicago Cubs? Why will they not go out and get Trevor Bauer?
He's a piece of shit.
Yep. And pitched down a couple of years. He can't just come back in.
Look. Personally, whatever. He's cleared. He's cleared all the shit, right?
But it's a distraction. There is nothing positive that he's going to bring to your clubhouse.
You don't think so?
Nope.
For a league minimum.
First of all, I don't think he would take a league minimum because he's a cocky prick. Okay. First of all,
he says he will, but
second of all, the guy
social media stuff.
The guy was dominating in leagues that basically had the 3 of us playing in it. So, like, I don't want to hear that he was.
I'm a good cleanup
fucking
hitter.
17-2 with a 1 point something. He was playing against guys who are, they got regular day jobs.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. Like, again, to me, what's he in it? Like, it's, he's been out of the league for.
That's what I was saying. He's been out of the league. Yeah. Point. You can't just come back in.
Like, I understand he was really good at one point, but at some point you burn all your bridges. Yeah, at some point you burn all your bridges, and even excluding the legal stuff, there were things he did that no teams wanted to be around him anyway.
That's what I was going to say. Shep, from a guy that works in marketing, like for a PR, he's not worth his talent is not worth that.
Even if he came in and he was a great number 3 high end, let's say he even became a high end number 2 starter and he gave you 15 wins and he was good. Yeah, that's good, great, but I don't think that is going to outweigh the circus that comes with him. Yep. And it, and not even, I'm talking legal stuff aside, it's just a matter of time before he has his first temper tantrum, before he says the first dumbass thing into the media. That's coming. because that was all the time. You remember when he just hucked the ball over the center field wall in Kansas City when Terry Francona was going out there to pull him out? You can't do that.
You're gone.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You can't. Like, that is immaturity.
Yep.
And it feels like from all the videos you see with them and the way he talks and stuff like that, it feels like that part of him hasn't really left.
Yeah, he hadn't grown up.
It hasn't really left.
Yeah.
So I get that, right? Obviously the guy still has the talent though. So what if you're a club hanging in?
And yes, we are a pro wrestling podcast, everybody. If you're tuning in right now,
we love pro wrestling. What if you're a club hanging in there late August, early September, and you have a chance to add that fifth starter? Is it worth the shit show?
No.
Ah, man, I don't know.
not 4 years out of the league.
I don't know.
Like somebody else to be your fifth starter.
You're better off to go make a trade and trade a B-level prospect to go get a fifth starter.
I agree.
See,
if you're talking he's going to walk on the field and be an ace, maybe you can put up with the bullshit. But we're not talking about. You're not getting Tariq Skubal to show up on your team. You're getting, at best, a fourth or fifth starter with a whole lot of baggage. And a fifth starter that hasn't faced legitimate major league hitters in almost half a decade.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a semi-load of baggage for sure.
Oh, yeah. And I feel like when you play a sport like baseball where the season is that long, and there's that many, like, chemistry matters. And chemistry matters in all sports, but in baseball, it really matters. And I feel like there's a chance that guy walks into your clubhouse and just drops a bomb in your clubhouse. And everybody's on fucking eggshells. Everybody's waiting for him to do everybody's waiting for it.
Is that because he's made such a big social media presence? He just made this, like, so he comes into your clubhouse and he's just an absolute asshole.
I mean, I feel like that's how he portrays himself. That would be kind of the expectation, would it not?
But I mean, he turned around and got kicked out of baseball, so he went to social media to make a living, right?
Yeah.
And
by demeaning and talking shit about baseball, the league you want to eventually try to get back into. Again,
correct.
There's just things you did. It's like, okay.
Yeah. Here's the bridge.
There are certain people that if that would have happened and they got blackballed out of the league, which he didn't, but like if you would have got kicked out of the league for certain things, there are certain people that would have shut their mouth, let the courts take care of that side of things, and go play baseball and prove that you deserve to be back in the league by that. He decided that he was going to go on social media and just run his mouth and talk shit about the league and everybody in the league, and, come from a level where it's like, okay, like, eventually you want to get back in there. The same people that are going to be running the league in a couple years that you want to get back into are the same people that you're saying are like you're talking shit about. How do you think that's going to work out for you? Like, it's not going to work out for you.
Yeah.
I when it comes to things like that, I have a question. I say, is the juice worth the squeeze? And I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze when it comes to Trevor Bauer.
Yeah.
I just don't. Yeah. That's all.
Any other wrestling topics you guys want to hit on before we wrap things up?
Yeah. Sorry. No, I'm good. I think AEW is on a roll. I think they've been on a roll. I know I'm not obviously on here every week like you guys. I think AEW has been on a roll for the last 2.5 months, like just killer shows. Going to the smaller venues has done a world of difference. I know Kyle Fletcher said something about it in an interview publicly, but it's done a world of difference from the product. The arenas feel loud again. They sound loud again. I think the wrestlers have, they were always having good matches, but I honestly feel like Kyle Fletcher said it in the interview. He said it's kind of rejuvenated the roster going to the smaller venues. And I think you can see it. I think you can see it.
Sure.
I really like what they're doing right now. And I think from a storytelling standpoint, they are telling stories throughout the roster and I think they're doing it at a clip that is the best they've ever done it.
I think as an overall product, they're putting out their best product they've put out since 2022. Yeah. I really do. They've learned a lot. It seems like they're moving forward. And like even last night at Collision, I liked the tribute to Mongo McMichael. I like how they do little things like that. Yeah. That a lot of the other promotions don't do. I thought it was touching. I thought it was good.
And they're in Chicago. Yep. I think they're good about that. I thought having Taz talk on, that was another thing I loved on Wednesday was Taz
man.
talking about Sabu.
Yep.
I'm a 90s kid. I was ECW Friday nights on the Spanish channel where I was from at 1 a.m. I would either be up watching it or recording it on a videotape so I could watch it on Saturday morning before I went out with my friends. Sabu was an icon. He was an icon. He was one of the staples. It was Raven. It was Sabu. It was Sandman. It was the Dudleys. It was those guys.
And I'll end on this. JBJ, I want to ask you because I asked Shep and Paul this last week. Is Sabu on your ECW Mount Rushmore?
Yeah. I don't put Heyman on it because he's not a wrestler. If you allowed everybody without question, Heyman's on it. Without question. Sure. I would go, for me, I would go Taz. I would go Sabu. I would go Dreamer. Actually, that's a lie. Take Dreamer off. I put Raven up there. Ooh. And then my fourth one is not going to be what you think. I saw Shep. You had Shane Douglas?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm putting Bam Bam.
Oh.
Because I think Bam Bam was a big name that ECW needed. And that, to me, when I was a young wrestling fan, I started watching ECW because I saw Bam Bam Bigelow.
Sure.
And I said, oh, shit, Bam Bam Bigelow's over there. I'm going to go check this out. And then I fell in love with Raven was my dude. I fucking loved Raven.
Amazing.
Then I fell in love with Raven.
You guys see him over the weekend?
No, I didn't. Is he looking all right?
He showed up at the independent show. It's a brand new promotion up in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. I think it's I'm going to spell this wrong. I think it's ACW. And, they had a lot of big names. Like Chris Van Vliet was there and gave a guy rock bottom.
Oh, I saw that clip.
Raven showed up. Yeah, it was. Raven showed up with a kendo stick and helped Dreamer out.
Fair. Yeah,
wow.
It was cool. I feel like Sandman probably needs to be. He was so fucking over.
Oh, Sandman was great.
So maybe it's like Sabu, Raven, Taz, and Sandman, maybe. Though Dreamer, was like Mr. ECW. I don't know. That's hard. That's hard.
So many. Like with Dreamer, though, he was that. All of a sudden, he was that raw baby face that turned hardcore. Yeah. With the kendo.
But he was the EC fucking like he was that guy. You know what I mean?
He was that guy, and then But we would not all be there if it wasn't for Shane Douglas turning on the NWA title.
100% fair.
That's why it's a fun Mount Rushmore to talk about.
I think the Dudleys are as essential as any of those guys.
Yeah.
I think the BWO is as essential as any of those guys early on.
BWO was great.
Yeah.
BWO was great.
Yeah.
Well, and for me,
how do you not have Terry Funk?
I was a little too young to really get into ECW. When I finally heard about it, it was on its dying days. But Rob Van Dam,
another one,
was the guy in ECW for me.
Hold on, JBJ. I feel like that was a little dig on our age.
No,
I was too young. Tanner says.
I was 9 when they were bought by WWE, so WWF at the time. So.
You fucker. I appreciate that.
All right, so I'm gonna do a quick revision. I would say Sabu, Raven, I'm putting Taz on there.
Yep.
And then I would do the fourth. The fourth is a tricky one for me, but I think I am gonna put Tommy Dreamer.
Okay.
That's where I stay.
That's a great one.
Good stuff.
That's a great pick. It's a great pick.
Good stuff.
Great pick.
Good stuff. Well, JPJ, this has been a lot of fun. Thanks for joining us tonight. Unfortunately, it's going to be your last episode of KOP as the KOP Predictions Champion, but Thank you for joining us, and get your shit in. Tell everybody where they can find you out there, because I know you're all over the place.
I am, yeah. So, Thursdays over on Love Wrestling, Thursday nights, 8 p.m., if he still shows up on Thursday. Me and Pluggo, we do Between Two Beards. That's a flagship over at Love Wrestling. Earlier on in the day, in the morning time, 9 a.m. Eastern time, I also do a show called Firmly Inc. with Drew Nicholas, where we talk about the week in wrestling for WWE and AEW more in-depthly. Over on Body
Fun
Slam.
show. Go check that out.
It's good. It's good. Me and Drew have a good rapport. We go a little bit more in depth than we do on like our other shows. So it's a more in-depth look at the week that was in WWE and AEW. And then over on bodyslam.net on Monday nights after Raw, I hop on there with my pal Corey Hayes. We do Raw Dogs, which is the Raw post show. And then on Wednesday night after Dynamites, I hop on there with my buddy Jose Gonzalez, Jose on the Air. We do Dynamite Up, which is our AEW Dynamite review. And I just want to say thank you for having me on. I know you guys think that this is the last time I'll have this, but I just want to say before, Shep does his thing and I get out of here that, not a lot in life are guaranteed. No, there's not a lot of guarantees in life. Death, taxes, painful shits. But other than those three things, JPJ picking perfect AEW pay-per-view cards on the Kicking Out podcast is about as close to a guarantee as there is on earth. And I love you boys, but on your best day, you can't touch me. So this is never leaving my shoulder.
Little promo there from JPJ.
Never.
Hey, what about the new thing, the Hive?
Oh yeah, that is launching on June 2nd. My pal Josh Robinson, who worked over at Love Wrestling with me, where we're good friends. I do Sims on his channel and some fun stuff with him. He's kind of creating a kind of like the Hive is a good name. It's kind of like a social hub where there's like 13 or 14 of us that are in there right now. We got some people that are going to be doing some wrestling things, some regular sports, pro sports things. We have video game reviews. We have pulp culture, TV and movie reviews. It's kind of like a hub for all entertainment. And that launches officially on June 2nd. And I will have a couple shows over there as well. One wrestling related one and one pro sports related one as well. So that'll be coming up the runway very soon, couple weeks.
That's awesome.
So,
I'm excited for that. I enjoy those guys. I watched one of your shows with him before.
Yeah.
And very, very
great. Yeah. Josh. Yeah. There's a great guy. So we have a good group of people that are starting off over there, and we got some cool ideas that some have been announced, some haven't yet, but I think there's a chance that ends up being a really, really cool thing. So
as long as you keep Paul and Pluggo out of it, it's going to be a really entertaining channel. So
listen, Pluggo is involved. I will tell you that Pluggo is involved. Yes. Paul, not yet, I don't think. Unless Pluggo's reached out to him. We're trying, But Pluggo is involved. Pluggo is involved.
All right. Good for Pluggo.
Be on the lookout. You can follow. It's The Hive on all social media platforms. If you follow me, you'll see links for it, and you'll see some stuff coming out. But I'm going to have a show over there called The Swarm. And it's going to be a 2-time-a-week show, one pro wrestling and one pro sports. So
nice.
Shep, you got anything?
Yeah, I have absolutely nothing like JPJ has. I'm just a mid-average golfer trying to navigate this world and watch a little pro wrestling as we go. So, hey, Scotty Scheffler just kicked ass today. I mean,
everybody else fell apart around him, and he just stayed even keel.
If we're talking golf, I mean, Scotty Scheffler is just
Nike had an unbelievable ad come up. I don't know if you guys saw it right afterwards. It was just a picture of him hitting at one of his tee shots this week. At the top, it says "Best golfer in the world?" ? Guilty.
Yeah.
Playing off of his arrest last year.
That's a great ad.
He's so good.
He's unbelievable. He's unbelievable.
He's a good guy. He's a good dude. Yeah.
I don't think there's been a golfer that has been as consistently great as him in a long time. It's probably since Tiger. And he's not at that. Nobody's ever going to be at that level.
Nope.
But
he's
in my life of watching golf since Tiger, I don't think there's been a guy that is consistently near the top of the leaderboard or is winning as much as that guy. He is very, very good. And he's, like you said, even keel. He's the same. Even when he's having a bad round, you look at him and he could be 10 under or 10 over. And he's
not a lot of emotion, Scotty.
He's the same. It's
pretty,
the same every time.
The guy stretched in a jail cell and shot 65.
I know.
Yeah.
Last year. Yeah.
I mean, we're whatever.
Yep.
But no, everyone, thanks for listening to us. And thanks for JPJ joining us. And
and be on the lookout for our Double or Nothing predictions.
Yep.
We'll lock down the date and time. We'll get it out there on socials.
That's on me. Just so everyone knows, that's on me. Good. I got to figure out some stuff, but I should have it figured out hopefully by tomorrow, and then we'll have
tornado tag.
I'm ready for it. We'll be ready. We'll be ready.
Another piece of content coming out on the Kicking Out podcast side this week. Just recorded yesterday. I got my wife Stephanie to sit down with me and do a piece of wrestling content. She's not a wrestling fan, but she knows a little. So I quizzed her on a bunch of wrestling terms that us marks know.
Hell yeah.
And she did all right. So
I like it.
And we had fun doing that. So look for that to drop within the next few days. And besides that, you can follow the Kicking Out podcast on all social media platforms at Kicking Out Pod. Subscribe to us on your favorite audio podcast platform. If that's Apple Podcasts or Spotify, give us that 5-star rating and review. Helps us out a lot with the algorithm and all the different podcasts and pro wrestling podcasts out there. If you want to support our podcast, look great doing so, you can go to kickingOutShop.com or Pro Wrestling Tees. We got a store on there as well. You get some merchandise and look great doing so. And you can follow Shep on social media at TheShep27. You can follow Paul Zartman at PaulZartman87. And you can follow myself at TannerLee92. And for JBJ, for Austin Shepard, I'm Tanner Lee. Join us again next time as we kick out another podcast.
This is where I say goodbye and good night.